Hi, I'm Gary Bernier, whiskey sommelier, and I have the great pleasure of being here with the Canadian Whiskey Smith. Theresa is from Alberta, and she's going to share something with us today and a little bit of a story, and we're going to enjoy some whiskey together. And that's why we're doing it remotely. There's a few thousand miles between us. Theresa, how long have you been a whiskey sommelier?
Well, I started my whiskey sommelier journey in 2018, I guess it was. So got my level 1 and level 2 that year, and then came back in 2019 to get my level 3. And patiently, or maybe not so patiently, waiting for the next levels to come out.
Very cool. And you do some interesting things with women in whiskey, do you not?
I do. So I've got my Canadian Whiskey Smith on Facebook and Instagram. And then once a month, I get together with another sommelier, Sarah, and we do whiskey and lipstick. So it's, a whiskey talk show kind of centered around women in the industry and just discussing whiskey from a female perspective.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm sure the ladies will pick up on that. All right. So what'd you choose for us to sample tonight?
Well, I was trying to think. And so I decided on a new Canadian classic. And it is Lot 40, which is put out by J.P. Weisers at the Hiram Walker Distillery in Ontario. And Dr. Don is the master blender. And yes, he does have his doctorate. So he is legitimately Dr. Don. And the edition that I chose is their Peated Quarter Cask. So might as well get pouring, because a whiskey story just tastes better when you actually have whiskey in your glass, don't you think?
Yeah, sure does. And for those that are in Ontario, yes, you can find this in the LCBO. So for the rest of you, you'll have to hunt your local supplier.
Yes, it's pretty widely available in Alberta, and I know that they got it in BC at some point. So I guess it's waiting to, I don't know if they still have it, but.
How about our friends across the border?
No, if you are south of the border, you can't get this one. They do have the standard, I believe. You can get the standard Lot 40 in the US, but the special editions, only are up here. But it's one of those things when picking a whiskey for tonight, I wanted something that was going to make a statement. And this one is really one of those ones that it does. And the first time I got to try this, I was attending a virtual tasting that was being hosted by Dr. Don. And they brought this one out as a special one, a secret dram, because it wasn't available. They hadn't even decided if they were going to do it as a release. But they sampled us in the club, and everybody was just wowed by it because it's deep, it's rich, it's vibrant, but it's got this vegetal nature to it. It's very classic rye, but then it's got this peat element because they finished it in peated quarter casks. Now, I bug Dr. Don about this on social media every so often because I think I know where those quarter casks came from. And he says, we don't know, we get them from a broker. But who do we know on Islay who always has a quarter cask release? For those who don't know, it's Laphroaig.
I don't know.
Yeah, so Laphroaig. Laphroaig, actually, they have their, yeah. you might have noticed, you probably have a Laphroaig quarter cask there. So my guess would be it's probably finished in ex-Laphroaig quarter casks, but they won't tell you that.
They won't tell us that. No, I was really excited when I got to pick this up and it was peated, and I'm going, distilled here and peated? This is going to be cool. So thank you for that.
And not just that, it's a peated rye, and rye already has some of those vegetal notes that you would typically find. It kind of leans in an herbal direction. And so some people might think, well, rye and peat, why would you even think to do that? And my first thought is, why wouldn't you? And that's the thing that excites me about Lot 40 and JP Wiser's, is because they're a commercial level distillery. So they are producing at a level that gets really good distribution. And they are having fun. They are experimenting. They are doing things that are different. And we usually only see that in the craft space. And that means that you have more limited reach with it. For somebody as big as Hiram Walker to be doing something like this, it gets me all excited. And it even smells a little bit dusty. I don't know, but sweet at the same time. It's just a hint of
it. What I can say is it doesn't smell like a rye. If you were blind, if I was doing a blind smelling, I would be so confused by this.
I know,
Because
right?
this does not bring through anything I expect out of a rye.
It
in
doesn't.
the nose.
Ooh. And when you take a sip of that, it's got some kick, because this is punching in at 55.5%. So it's cask strength. And that is a big whiskey. It doesn't really burn, but you know it's there. It's sparking up and saying hello, and it's giving you that little bit of that peaty ash on the palate. I just
There's not a lot of ryes back here, because ryes are not necessarily right now, they're not my thing. I'll go a malt or a scotch and then a bourbon, and so ryes kind of follow down. Right now they're down sort of on the list, because to me there hasn't been a lot of variation. But this like I said, I was excited, and this is everything I hoped it would be. So thank you for this. This is
you're
great.
very welcome. Yes, we finished that tasting, and everybody, like I said, it was all whiskey geeks. And so we were asking Dr. Don, it's like, so when is this going to get bottled? He's like, well, we don't even know if it's going to fly. We're not sure if people will respond to it. And 6 months later, oh, hey, look at this. Ontario is getting a new release, but we'll think about getting it out to Alberta eventually. And
yeah, but like you say, it's a chance for a commercial distiller to build a specialty product and put it out through the channels, because unfortunately our channels are not really that equipped to highlight a specialty product.
Not always, and not coming from something produced within the country. Like we get a lot of very safe, what I would consider safe, very approachable whiskeys. And that seems to be a hallmark of the Canadian style, or the Canadian market, is that they like things that are, fairly easy to sip on. This is big. This is bold. I mean, rye tends to be a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder. And in my opinion, and this might be overstating things in some ways, but I feel like Lot 40, even the baseline standard edition that they can get in other parts of the world, it kind of saves the Canadian reputation in some ways, because among aficionados, there are people who maybe they want to be challenged a bit. And Lot 40 has been doing that. It's putting something out there that tastes different and has a point of view. And, if you can't get excited about that, then I'm not sure, what there is to get excited about.
Well, Theresa, I'm very excited to share this with some other people, because I know they've never tasted anything like this. So thank you very much for introducing all of us to the Lot 40 Peated Edition. This is awesome. There it is for you guys. So pick up a bottle and let us know what you think. Put it in the comments. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Theresa. Solange. Or cheers, or whatever works.
Skål, Proust.
There we go.
Bottoms up.